grade 11s. Today we're going to have a look at sketching graphs of circles. This should all be revision from last year, so hopefully you're feeling okay about it. Okay, I need you to remember that the general form for the equation of a circle is the following. So in the form, and that's x minus a all squared, y minus b all squared equals r squared. Now our center of our circle is at a and b, and again, as with our turning point form of our parabola, we reference the fact that we've got our center at AB. Okay, and with a circle, it's the only shape where we take the opposite sign for both the x and y value. In this case, our transformation in x, or our horizontal shift, is going to be 0, and our vertical shift will be 3 up. Okay, our radius, remember this is r squared, so we're talking about 1 or the square root of 1. 1 will be our radius, and that will just be 1. Now, that in itself is not enough information to help me to sketch it, so I'm going to find my x-intercepts and my y-intercepts. So x-intercepts happen when y equals 0. Okay, so what I have is x squared plus negative 3 squared is equal to 1. X squared is going to plus 9 equals 1. X squared equals negative 8. Oh dear, I can't find the square root of negative 8, so I have got no real roots, which means I have no x-intercepts. Okay, so now we need our y-intercepts. And that happens when x equals 0, so I just have y take 3 all squared equals 1. Y is equal to plus or minus the square root of 1, which is just 1. It's not, it's y minus 3 is plus or minus 1. So y is 3 plus or minus 1. So I have two y-intercepts, and my two y-intercepts will be at 0, 4, and at 0, 2. Okay, that kind of makes sense because I have a radius of 1 and my center is at 0, 3. So if I plot this, I have my center at 0, 3. I have my y-intercepts over here, 0, 4 and 0, 2. Now to get a nice round circle, you might want to give yourself a couple extra points, because I don't know about you, but my circles don't look great. Let's give more space there, that. And of course, because you know that your radius is 1, you can just give yourself a point over here and a point over there. And I'm going to draw it in blue just so that you can see my circle is pretty wonky. It's okay to give us a wonky circle in the exam. Okay, and this is x squared plus y minus 3 all squared equals 1. And you have labeled all your points. Now it asks for the domain and the range. Domain will be the values of x for which this function is valid. And so for x, we go from negative 1 inclusive to positive 1 inclusive. My range will be my y values that it's valid for, and that will be from 2 to 4 inclusive. All right, let's have a look at the second one. So here we have, again, a circle. It's in the form x take a all squared plus y take b all squared equals r squared. My center is at a and b, so I have a center at negative 3, negative 2, and r will be equal to 3, so my radius is the square root of 9. Okay, I have my x-intercepts. at y equals 0. So I have x plus 3 all squared plus 2 squared equals 9. So I have x plus 3 all squared is 9 take 4, which is 5. So x will be negative 3 plus or minus square root of 5. Okay, so I have one x-intercept at negative 3 plus root 5 and 0, and the other one at negative 3 minus root 5 and 0. Okay, y-intercepts at x equals 0, so I have 3 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 9. So 9 take 9 is 0, so y plus 2 is 0, and I only have 1 at y equals negative 2. That means that my circle just kisses or just touches my y-axis at y equals negative 2. Alright, let's sketch that quickly. So we have takes such a bit of fiddling to get this thing quite right. So there, there, and there, there. Important to use the same scale on your x and y axis when sketching circles, because otherwise you're going to definitely get an oval. Okay, so we know that at negative 2 we have a point. And we know that we have a point at negative 3 plus root 5. Now, root 5 is 2 point something. So negative 3 plus root 5 is somewhere over there. And negative 3 minus root 5 will be negative 5 and something. So we might want to extend our line there a little bit. Oops. Negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, and it will be just after negative 5, so negative 3 minus root 5 and 0. Now, that's not really enough to help me, but I do have a center at negative 3, negative 2, so I know that there's my center of my circle. And I also know that I have a radius of 3, so I can give myself a point over there, and I can give myself a point down there, and I can give myself a point up there, and I'll draw it in blue. And you can see that I can get a beautiful wonky circle by joining all my points. Okay, and this was x plus 3 all squared, y plus 2 all squared equals 9. Okay, again, my domain is going to be my values of x. So I'm going to go from negative 6 to 0, and my range will go from negative 2 minus 5, negative 5 to positive 1. So I'm just adding my radius to my center for each of those values.